A Russian Christmas Party by Leo Tolstoy. Narrated by Trevor O'Hare. Count Rostow's affairs were going from bad to worse. He was of a warm, generous nature, with unlimited faith in his servants, and hence was blind to the mismanagement and dishonesty which has sapped his fortune. The possessor of a handsome establishment at the Russian capital, Moscow, the owner of rich provincial estates, and the inheritor of a noble name and wealth, he was nevertheless on the verge of ruin. He had given up his appointment as Maréchal de la Noblesse, which he had gone to his seat of Otradnoe to assume, because it entailed too many expenses, and yet there was no improvement in the state of his finances. Nicolas and Natasha, his son and daughter, often found their father and mother in anxious consultation, talking in low tones of the sale of their Moscow house, or of their property in the neighborhood. Having thus retired into private life, the Count now gave neither fetes nor entertainments. Life at Otradnoe was much less gay than in past years. Still, the house and domain were as full of servants as ever, and 20 persons or more sat down to dinner daily. These were dependents, friends, and intimates, who were regarded as almost part of the family, or at any rate seemed unable to tear themselves away from it. Among them a musician named Dimmler and his wife, Logel, the dancing master and his family, and old Mille Below, former governess of Natasha and Sonia, the Count's niece and adopted child, and now the tutor of Petya, his younger son, besides others who found it simpler to live at the Count's expense than at their own. Thus, though there were no more festivities, life was carried on almost as expensively as of old, and neither the master nor the mistress ever imagined any change possible. Nicolas again had added to the hunting establishment. There were still 50 horses in the stables, still 15 drivers. Handsome presents were given on all birthdays and fete days, which invariably wound up, as of old with a grand dinner, to all the neighborhood. The Count still played whist or Boston, invariably letting his cards be seen by his friends, who were always ready to make up his table, and relieve him without hesitation of the few hundred roubles which constituted their principal income. The old man marched on blindfold through the tangle of his pecuniary difficulties, trying to conceal them and only succeeding in augmenting them, having neither the courage nor the patience to untie the knots one by one. The loving heart by his side foresaw their children's ruin, but she could not accuse her husband, who was, alas, too old for amendment. She could only seek some remedy for the disaster. From her woman's point of view there was but one, Nicholas's marriage, namely, with some rich heiress. She clung desperately to this last chance of salvation, but if her son should refuse the wife she should propose to him, every hope of reinstating their fortune would vanish. The young lady whom she...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?